Hi, I'm Forrest. 2 years ago, I walked away from a marriage that nearly drained me dry, financially and emotionally. The divorce lawyers called it contentious. I call it what it was, a 12-month cage match where the only prize was keeping my sanity and the beach house my grandfather left me. That house sits on the edge of Malibu, where the sunsets make even bad days bearable. 3 bedrooms, weathered deck, and windows that catch every breeze off the Pacific. When Vanessa tried claiming it during the settlement, I told my lawyer I'd live in my car before letting that happen. Cost me an extra 80 grand in the settlement, but worth every penny. I was having coffee on that deck when my phone buzzed with a text from my sister. You coming to dinner tomorrow? Marcus is bringing that spicy shrimp thing you like. Diane has been my rock since the divorce. She's 5 years older and never thought Vanessa was good enough. Turns out big sisters are right more often than you'd like to admit. Wouldn't miss it. Need me to bring anything? Just yourself and maybe that bottle of bourbon you've been hiding. I laughed, setting my phone down to watch a pod of dolphins playing beyond the breakers. Business had been good lately, really good. The tech startup Marcus and I had built from nothing was finally getting acquisition offers. Nothing solid yet, but enough interest to make me cautiously optimistic. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I opened it and felt my stomach knot. Hey, stranger. Been thinking about you. Maybe we should talk. Miss the old days? Vanessa. 2 years of silence and now this? I showed the text to Marcus when he stopped by later that afternoon to review some contracts. Dude, delete that garbage. Nothing good comes from talking to her again. I know. Just weird timing with everything going on with the company. Marcus raised an eyebrow. Exactly. Suddenly she's interested when there might be money involved? Classic Vanessa? I paced across the living room, trying to ignore the unease spreading through my chest. You think she knows about the acquisition talks? Those tech blogs did mention us last week. Not hard to connect the dots if someone's looking. The doorbell rang, startling us both. Diane walked in carrying takeout. Sorry, door was unlocked. Thought you might need dinner since you two workaholics forget to eat when you're plotting world domination. I showed her the text. That snake. First she tries to take this place in the divorce. Now she's crawling back just when your company's making headlines. Diane shook her head. She wants something. My phone buzzed again. Craig, a mutual friend who still occasionally saw Vanessa. Hey man, weird question. Vanessa was asking about your beach house today. Something about waterfront property values. Thought you should know. I showed them both the message. And there it is, Marcus said, folding his arms. She's not after you, brother. She's after this place. Diane squeezed my shoulder. Don't worry, this time we see her coming. I stared out at the ocean, the setting sun turning the water to fire. This house was the one thing I refused to lose in the divorce. And now it seemed I might have to fight for it all over again. 3 days after that text, I met Vanessa at a coffee shop. She'd gone blonde again and wore that blue dress I once complimented. Forrest, God, it's so good to see you. She went for a hug. I gave her a quick side embrace. You look great. Success really suits you. I've been following your company's progress. Thanks. What made you reach out after all this time? She twirled her hair around one finger. I've been doing a lot of therapy. I wasn't in a good place during our divorce. That makes 2 of us. I know I hurt you. I was greedy and selfish, and I've regretted it every day since. After 30 minutes of her apology tour, she leaned forward. Maybe we could have dinner sometime at your place. I'd love to see the beach house again. Sure, why not? How about next Friday? I called Marcus right after leaving. She's laying it on thick. Something's definitely up. Did she mention the house? Not directly, but she wants dinner there next week. By Wednesday, Marcus had news. Your ex has been dating some guy named Trevor for 6 months. He's in real estate development, specializes in luxury beachfront properties. That's not a coincidence. It gets better. Craig overheard them at a restaurant talking about after we're married again and divorce settlement. My stomach dropped. She's planning to remarry me just to divorce me again and take the house? Exactly. And Trevor works for Coastal Developments. They've been buying properties around yours for a luxury condo project. Your section is the missing piece they need. So Vanessa hooks up with this developer, and they realize she might have a way to get her hands on my property. I called Diane that night. I knew she was up to something. That woman is a snake. What are you going to do? I need legal advice. You still in touch with Sandra from your firm? Sandra Patel? Yeah, she's a partner now. Specializes in property law. Want me to set up a meeting? The next morning in Sandra's downtown office, I explained everything. They're planning to use your emotional history against you. Sandra tapped her pen. Classic manipulation, but legally problematic if we can prove intent. How do we do that? We need evidence, communications, recordings if possible. Can you play along longer? If it means keeping my property and teaching Vanessa a lesson, absolutely. Diane leaned forward. But we need a backup plan. What if they actually succeed? Sandra smiled, the kind that made me glad she was on my side. I have a few ideas. How attached are you to that specific beach house, Forrest? It's my grandfather's place, but I paused. I'm more attached to not letting Vanessa win. Then I think we have the beginnings of a plan. Following Sandra's advice, I decided to play along with Vanessa's little game. When Friday night came, I made sure the beach house looked exactly how she remembered it, including the photos of us I'd stored away years ago. This place hasn't changed a bit. Vanessa ran her fingers along the mantel, lingering on our wedding photo. Remember our first summer here? How could I forget? Best months of my life. She smiled, clearly thinking she had me hooked. I heard property values around here have gone crazy lately. You have no idea. Got an unofficial appraisal last month. Nearly doubled since we split. Her eyes lit up. I could practically see the dollar signs. Really? That's incredible. Real estate agent says there's a developer buying everything in sight. I poured more wine, making sure my phone was recording in my pocket. Might be worth considering if they make an offer. You'd sell this place, but you fought so hard for it. For the right price, maybe. Life's about moving forward, right? Over the next 2 weeks, I kept feeding Vanessa little breadcrumbs about rising property values, recording every conversation. She brought Trevor along to our third dinner, introducing him as just a friend. Trevor actually knows a lot about real estate. Maybe he could give you some advice. Trevor tried to look casual, but I noticed how his eyes scanned every inch of the property. This location is prime. Unobstructed ocean views, private beach access. You're sitting on a gold mine. Funny you should mention that. Got another call from that development company today. Trevor nearly choked on his drink. Oh? What company? Coastal something. Offered $7 million, but I turned them down. $7 million? Vanessa couldn't hide her shock. And you said no? Place is worth at least $9 million. Besides, I'm not sure I'm ready to sell my memories. Trevor leaned forward, dropping his guard. Between us, Coastal is planning a massive luxury complex. They've bought most properties around here except yours. Without this parcel, their project stalls. Sounds like I should hold out for more. Or partner with them. I might know some people who could arrange a meeting. That's so thoughtful, honey. Vanessa touched his arm, forgetting her Just Friends cover. Trevor has amazing connections. After they left, I sent the recordings to Sandra, who called me immediately. This is gold. He practically admitted their whole scheme. Is it enough? Almost. One more dinner should do it. The next evening, Marcus joined us for backup. Trevor brought blueprints, coincidentally, showing my property incorporated into their development. Just hypothetical designs, he claimed, but Coastal might pay $10 million if you're interested. Seems like you know a lot about their plans. I have contacts. He shifted uncomfortably. By the way, Vanessa mentioned you two have been reconnecting. That's great. Yeah, been thinking about giving us another shot. Vanessa reached for my hand. I've missed you so much, Forrest. Enough to consider marriage again? Her eyes widened. You'd want that? Maybe. Let's discuss it over breakfast tomorrow here at the house. Trevor should come too, since you're such good friends. Later, Sandra delivered the paperwork we'd need. Everything's ready. You sure about this? Absolutely. They'll never see it coming. I made one last call to the real buyer, a deal Sandra had been quietly arranging. We're all set for 8 a.m. Be ready to move fast. That night, I slept better than I had in years, knowing tomorrow would change everything. I set the dining table with mimosas and fresh fruit. Diane, Marcus, and Sandra arrived early to prepare. Everything's ready? I asked. All set. Sandra placed her briefcase on the counter. The timing has to be perfect. Vanessa and Trevor arrived fashionably late. Sorry we're late, Vanessa kissed my cheek. Traffic was a nightmare. Worth the wait. I pulled out chairs for them facing the ocean. Beautiful view, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. Trevor couldn't take his eyes off the coastline, one of the last unspoiled stretches in the area. About that, I glanced at my watch. I've been thinking about your offer. Vanessa squeezed my hand. Whatever you decide, I support you. We can face this together. That's sweet. But I should tell you both that I sold the beach house yesterday. The mimosa dribbled down Vanessa's chin. You what? Sold it. Papers were signed at 4:30 yesterday. Trevor nearly jumped from his seat. That's impossible. To whom? Horizon Investments? They outbid Coastal by $2 million? You can't do that, Trevor shouted. Our deal. What deal, Trevor? We never had a deal. Vanessa attempted damage control. He means the potential deal we discussed. Forrest, why didn't you tell me? The same reason you didn't tell me about your plan to remarry me, just to divorce me again and grab this property. Marcus hit play on the laptop. Their voices filled the room, all those private conversations meticulously recorded. You recorded us? Vanessa went pale. Legally in my own home. By the way, Trevor, your boss was very interested in hearing how you were working behind their back. Sandra handed Vanessa an envelope. This is a restraining order and a cease and desist for harassment. We have enough evidence for criminal charges, but Mr. Jackson prefers to handle this civilly, assuming you both disappear from his life. Trevor looked sick. This is a misunderstanding. Save it. Your termination paperwork was processed this morning. Vanessa tried one last angle. Forrest, please, I really do still have feelings for you. Actually, I've also sold my shares in the tech company. By noon yesterday, I was officially retired. The doorbell rang. Diane opened it to reveal a distinguished gentleman. Mr. Jackson, the new owners would like to take possession immediately. Of course, I stood up. Everyone, this is the representative from Horizon Investments. They now own this property. As we walked out, Vanessa made one last attempt. You'll regret this. You loved this house. I loved what it represented, my grandfather's legacy, so I donated half the proceeds to his favorite charity. The other half bought me a nice place up the coast, where you two aren't welcome. Outside, my real support system waited by their cars. Ready for breakfast at your new place? Diane asked. Absolutely. The view there is even better, and so is the company. What would you have done in Forrest's position? Would you have sold your family's legacy property just to get revenge? Or would you have found another way to expose Vanessa and Trevor's scheme while keeping the beach house? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you choose sweet revenge or preserving your family legacy? If you enjoyed this story of justice served cold, hit that like button and subscribe for more revenge tales that'll have you cheering for the underdog. New stories every day about people who refuse to be victims and turn the tables on those who wronged them.